All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel. Mike Catalana, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Before we get started, please be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel. Big night here in Orchard Park. The Bills beating the Dolphins 32-29. Buffalo clinching a playoff spot. It was not always pretty, Mike, but when the Bills needed to, they got the win.
Oh, they made some plays. And Josh Allen, he was something else. And ridiculous is a good word.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Josh Allen experience, and it was craziness. I mean, we had moments where he threw dimes. He made stupid plays, like the one right before half. Ridiculous. He knows it was. I believe, did Sean McDermott say he might have popped his tires? Is that what he said?
Okay, we need to put that into context.
Right.
After the game, McDermott was asked about that play before the half because Josh took, obviously, a lot of time off the
all
clock.
the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
In my head, I was like, that seems like more than 8 seconds.
It was way more than 8 seconds. Yeah.
And then Sean McDermott was asked, and he joked post-game saying, like, yeah, if it didn't turn out to be a touchdown, might have had to deal with some flat tires.
Yeah. Sean was full of jokes in the post-game.
He was relieved.
Yeah, they were all relieved. But Josh Allen made those plays, the two-point conversion, incredible. It's funny. He dives in, and I'm thinking, did he get in? Because I'm looking at it, and then I see him standing there, and it goes to the replay. It was so close.
It was so close. It's funny. As soon as it happened, I was like, I don't know, Jim. I was like, I don't know. And, you know, they're celebrating all that stuff, and then the crowd is, like, hushed and all.
Yeah.
But, hey, they got that. I think that was the perfect kind of analogy for this game where it was like, it could have gone, it could have not, but the Bills were able to make enough plays to come out with a win.
And that drive, so they get the ball back, right? After Allen had fumbled.
Yeah.
They get one play. They get the ball back near midfield. He fumbles. But they hold him to the field goal. And I thought Taron Johnson, you know, the defense wasn't great, but they were much better in the fourth quarter. But I thought that play by Taron Johnson on the third down to force the fourth, they got him back.
Huge.
They get the field goal. Then the Bills get it back, and you're like, okay. Then the drive doesn't start out great. No. Josh runs one. He nearly gets decapitated on the play. Yeah. And I'm this close to tweeting, you think you're going to go down the field and score just by giving the ball to Josh Allen? And then I did not tweet it, and he goes 44 yards with probably the biggest play on offense for the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, that was just something. I was standing in the far end zone where they were going to score, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to make it here. Just because it felt like at that point things kind of were slowing down. It was a slog to get first downs. You're like, all right, let's see what this team can do. But Allen with that run, he says he just saw it and he went for it. And that is what Josh Allen can do. And when games are close, Allen is able to rise his game up that much more. And I mean, look, some of the hits he took today, some of the hits he takes every game day are insane to me, but he gets up, he continues on, and this Bills team needed him to do it, and he's got that next level, it feels like, every time.
It is the Josh Allen experience. He goes out of bounds, he gets hit, there's a penalty, then there's a fight, then the snow starts flying.
The fight was bananas. I was in the middle of it. I was like,
Did you throw any punches?
I did not. I was honestly scared for my life because I am a tall woman. I'm like almost 5'10", and I felt like a little kid just looking up at everyone, and I was like, these men are very muscular and could do damage.
The part that was fortunate is, you know, Spencer Brown got into it and all. A lot of times they'll just throw the flag on both guys because there was already the roughing call against the Dolphins on that play, but they end up getting it, and then they get the touchdown. And then, you know, they get it back, and they drive down the field, and they kick the field goal to win it. A great drive. That last drive.
Fantastic.
And I got to give Ken Dorsey credit. I thought he struggled for a lot of the game, coming up with consistency. When Mitch Morris went out, it was huge.
Yeah.
And look, I will say this, not to be that guy, and I say prayers for Mitch Morris. It's a concussion. This man has gone through 6 of them. He is tough as nails. It is a serious thing for him.
Yeah.
I just want to see that Mitch is okay.
Yeah.
Football-wise, they miss him on the field.
Yeah.
And you could see the offensive line was a little discombobulated.
Yeah.
They're trying to get things done.
Yeah.
But on that last drive, they mixed the run and the pass. Great decision to throw deep.
Yep.
Were you surprised they threw it?
Yes.
So were the Dolphins. And they took the penalty, and then they took it down. They ran the clock down. Singletary stopped short.
Stopping, so all that stuff.
You know what they did? And I know it's different because here you're down and then tied. but they closed the game.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. Even last week against the Jets, they were sloppy at the end of the game.
Yeah.
They didn't make plays. They were forcing the defense to come back at it. Here, the offense came through. The defense got it back. The offense drove it down. They were smart with the football.
Yeah.
And then the kicker came on. I know it's short, but, it's wet. It's
slippery.
snowy. It's all that stuff. And they took care of it at the end.
I feel like this team now, to bust the narrative that they can't win one-score games, is like, we're gonna double down.
Yeah.
Like it was stressful throughout this one, but I think this team, it felt like, and you even asked Sean McDermott this, or
Yeah.
I can't remember. It felt like a
playoff
playoff
game.
atmosphere.
He
It
said,
really
yeah.
did.
And then he went into other things. It was kind of interesting. He started talking about Kyle Williams and the feel of a playoff game.
Yeah.
And the way Kyle Williams used to talk about what he dreamed about having here.
Yeah.
And it felt that way. But I think part of the reason, that's what I was trying to get him to answer, was what a swing this win is.
Yeah.
Miami is now,
Yeah.
well, they're not going to win the division. The Bills are going to
No.
win it. It only takes one more win or one more
Yeah.
loss. They've clinched the playoffs. Miami's in trouble. Not in trouble. It's tenuous now for them to make the playoffs, because this is 3 losses in a row for them.
Yeah.
So the swing was huge. But what I liked was when they were down, things weren't going well. Honestly, this team really stepped up in the biggest moments. And I will tell you this felt like an old school Patriots win. It's the way the Patriots used to win,
like that.
especially with the snow. It felt like that.
Yeah,
Like it
actually,
wasn't
yeah.
great. And then in the moments, you're like, oh, they're in trouble. They're going to
they-
get beat. And they found a way.
Backs against the wall, they found
Yeah.
a way to make the plays
I need you to
that
talk
were
about
necessary.
the atmosphere down here. You were down here for the whole game. What was it like down here?
Okay, so it was before the game. I just was always expecting the snow to come down. We had talked about it. When I got here, it was like, well, it's going to be late first half. Okay. No, it's going to be early second half. Okay. Fourth quarter, the Bills are struggling. And then I'm like, looking up and I'm like, oh, there's some light flurries. And even now it's calmed down considerably. I don't know if you can really even see the snow. But it was so cool. Like, I know that sounds so silly, but it wasn't
No.
a perfect game. To see the Bills, play the way they did, to have the snow coming down, it felt magical, honestly. It felt like the weather was even like cheering on the Bill. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
The snowballs, I did get hit. I got hit twice today. I got hit in the back of the neck with a snowball. So that wasn't cool. I didn't love the snowballs.
I will say this. I tweeted it, and then I had a few. This was not an old man take here about the snowballs. I just think it was cool when they scored the touchdown. They threw the snowball. That's
Yeah.
fine. But during the game, I thought, no, I don't want to see Bills fans get that narrative of, look at them
Yeah.
throwing snowballs on the field during play.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely happening. And then they got scolded by the official. And then
yeah.
Josh was over there telling them. And did the PA announcer announce, listen to Josh Allen, he's telling you not to throw snowballs?
I didn't hear that, but I wouldn't be shocked. If some of the Bills coaches were like yelling at people in the crowd to stop after the
And I know they
threat
didn't
of the
clear it. I'm
15-yard
looking, the
penalty.
stands couldn't they did a great job here, but they couldn't get everything cleared out. But come on, don't do something dumb. They were even, Poyer was like, it could have been a Dolphins fan doing it to try to get a penalty. It could have been. There's a lot of Bills fans here, but that was the only part. But I meant the atmosphere in this place. There's people talking about postponing the game, or postponing this game. They were going to play. It ended up being not a huge issue, really.
No.
But it was so cool. And at the end of the game, I came down here to meet you as you're coming off the field, and it was nuts. And the players were running around. And Kyer Elam's, I said, how'd you like the snow? He goes, I loved every bit of it. The guy from Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're feeling it, embracing it.
They were doing the
with
snow
fans.
angels after the win. I mean, it was really cool. You could tell how pumped up the fans were, how pumped up the Bills were, what that game means in terms of the playoffs, all that stuff. It was just an awesome atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm not going to lie, some of the reporters or some of the photographers next to me were like, it's cold, it's windy. And I'm like, if you can't like this, leave. Like, if you're going to complain about being on the sidelines.
So you tell Thad Brown to toughen up.
Stop. It was not that. No,
Okay.
no. You
I
could
know
not.
it wasn't him.
To say.
He's going to hear about that. at
Yeah,
some point.
I'm going
He's
to tell
hear
him. No,
about it.
it was not that. But some of the other people I were around were like,
Now, look, there's a lot of positivity. Big win for the Bills. Let's talk about some of the negatives real quick before we get out of the cold.
Also,
Defensively,
I feel like I have to say this. These are your gloves, so my hands are not this big. Like, I feel like
well,
ridiculous.
your glove, you lost a glove? Did you lose
No,
a glove?
I just think it's somewhere inside.
Okay. Tackling was poor. They had a rough day tackling.
Yes.
Third downs again, third and longs
Yeah.
were down. I got to say, I was more impressed by the Dolphins in this game by far more than the first game when they beat the Bills.
Completely.
I thought they were tough. I thought they were gamers. I thought they hung in there. I thought both Hill and Waddle made huge plays. I thought Tua played well.
So weird
Mostert
seeing a
was
lefty.
I know, but I tell you what, that
was-
run, Raheem Mostert, first of all, he ran through 4 guys who all missed tackles. All 3 levels of defense missed
brutal,
him.
yeah.
But he was a beast. I do know the defense toughened up. That was great. The penalty on Cam Lewis can't happen, Cam. That's a bad penalty.
That was bad.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be smarter there. You got to be more in control. 15-yard penalty, which led to the touchdown.
Yeah.
Those plays were bad. The third quarter alone, 4 punts and 2 touchdowns given up was brutal. But you come back in the fourth and you wipe that away and you get yourself in good position. So certainly things to work on and get better at. But way better to be doing that after a win against the Dolphins, another division win, 5 wins in a row. Basically, the division is done. It's now focus on the number 1 seed.
They're 11-3 at the end of December.
I want to have you take 1 minute here to talk about pregame.
Oh my God!
And your
I'm gonna
video.
cry.
Well, your video with Josh.
Yeah.
And tell everybody what went on. And I think we'll put it up. Can we put it up as a short on the channel?
I already did.
Oh, you did. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's up on the channel now.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what it was.
So pregame, there's sidelines that are partitioned off for fans to come down, and I saw a fan. Her name was Abby, and her parents were there, and I just felt like I was like, there's no one else around, and I saw. I just saw her, and I was chatting with her family, and then Josh came up, and it had been arranged that he was going to say hi because Abby actually recently went into remission, and they had met previously at another charity event, and I'm
Yeah, I know.
I
So tell them what happened in the exchange between the two.
so I get emotional because I'm a cancer survivor, and I saw how much it meant to the family. But so she had 2 dolls. One was Alan's jersey, and then another doll as well. It was like 2 little bears, whatever. And she gave one to Josh, and then Josh was like, well, I want you to sign this one. So she autographed the bear for Josh and gave it to him. And then he himself, he could have had one of the PR people run it into the locker room for him. He brought that into the locker room after spending time with the family, taking a photo.
Yeah. I mean, that is super cool. And you said it. I know you're emotional. You have every right to be. But he could have just been, hey, hello, whatever. It would have been super
That's
nice.
great. Yeah,
That would have been nice.
that would have been above and beyond. But just the whole experience and being right there for it, it was so funny because the NFL camera was facing me, and I was like, I gotta get it together because the whole time I was just like, and I chatted with the family briefly after, and just how much it meant to them, and it's just moments like that where, I feel like Josh. There's a lot of great quarterbacks in the league, and they're very committed to community service. But in a small community like Western New York, the effect that he has had and just the outreach that he's done and the way he's handled himself. I mean, he's 25, 26, it's crazy.
Well, you know what else I think? I don't think you become that guy when you become the quarterback of the Bills. No. And honestly, I think that's who he's been. I don't think you just say, well, now I'm the quarterback of the Bills and I got to do this.
Yeah.
I think it's in the guy. And look, I mean, I've been following this team, been around players. We've had a lot of great people, a lot of great players. But with the responsibility he has, and then when you see the genuine nature of his caring about people, you can tell he's listening to them, he's talking. We've seen it like everywhere we go. There's little moments where he just signs a ball or gives a jersey, and then there's those moments where he talks with them and does that exchange. I think it's awesome. And then he goes out and plays like a superstar.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
He could honestly have just gone up and been like, oh yeah, it's nice to see you again.
Take a
Congratulations.
picture, go.
Yeah, because
Plus
he's
it's
got a
pregame,
huge
he's got a
game
game
going on. And he's like, you know what? He took the exchange itself was probably well over 5 minutes. He doesn't have to do that.
No.
He did that. I'm always impressed by his maturity and his compassion, and just he's always
He's
gone
that
up.
guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Talk about a better fit.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
And by the way, I always like to take a little shot at Nick Wright. I'm trying to get him to come on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel.
He's avoiding you.
I think he's afraid. He doesn't want to talk about it. Took a little shot at Josh. Nothing that bad. He's like, oh, he's throwing the ball to 10-foot wide receivers because the first two he threw high. And then it's crickets.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, crickets.
Yeah.
I just want him to come on the channel. I want him to come on and talk. I love Mahomes. I think Mahomes is awesome.
That's the thing. Like, you don't have to
take shots. And Jalen Hurts is going to win MVP anyhow.
Yeah.
Josh got himself back up the ranks there a little bit.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, this is the kind of game that puts you back up there.
Yeah.
So Mahomes better have a good game, not his 3-interception thing that he just threw up in the last game. So, but I just thought that was kind of funny. And then, Josh had a couple of issues, but he put the team on his back and won the game. So
it's hard to win in the NFL. That's what they say, but that is the truth.
Yep.
The Bills were able to grind out a win. It was not always perfect, but they solidified a playoff spot. They're 11-3. They've got revenge on the Dolphins, and now they're headed to Christmas Eve game against the Bears.
Yeah,
they have a
cold in Chicago.
Yeah.
5 degrees.
Okay, you can stop.
We'll be in Chicago.
He'll be in the press box. I'll be
down on the field now. I'm toughing it out down here, and I gave you my gloves.
For 12 minutes. No, I mean, it was a fun game.
Yep.
And I saw on Twitter people saying the Bills should win this game for Abby, and they did.
Oh, that's cool. Well, they did,
and they
did.
We're
going to say they did.
And we're gonna say they did.
Yep.
Well, let's wrap up here. We'll have plenty more on the Buffalo Plus channel. Also, check out our podcast.
Yep.
We have a lot of fun there as well. It's available wherever you listen to your podcasts. It's called creatively Buffalo Plus. So for Mike, I'm Jenna. We'll catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you next time.
That's all right.
I can't help it.